Hello, my name is Trydar. Welcome to part 4 of the Pantheon tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, so last time we had just managed to do 2 blocks of the entire vast dome over the structure. So that is what we will be continuing with today, mostly. I think there's quite a bit. I don't know if we will get to squeeze the entire building into this. I'm thinking there's going to probably be a part 5. But we will see how that goes. So let's take a view over here of our Corinthian capital for the side pillars over here with little eagle statues on top of those. And over here a bit more of our Acriterion on the side of the building here. And of course in the middle I think you have a handle on this, and you probably already built quite a lot of this, where this will be meeting up towards the center here to finish off the triangular pointy bit of our pediment right here. And behind that, of course, our roof pattern is going up the same. And we are also, as you can see, we have copper here. So we are capping off the barrel vault that we have been building beneath here, like this right here. And that will be finishing off this part of the structure. So the underneath of your portico should now be complete. So we don't have to go under there anymore. We just have to focus mostly on the dome and some of the exterior bits. So over here at the corners, we want to put a upside down stone brick stair lintel over our windows that we have here. Of course, each window design is the same. We have our little door that I made here for you to access your roof. So you don't have to have any awkward holes in your building. We can just have the access points built into the structure. Behind here, as you can see, we are making the walls. We already established these patterns. You're just extending them up another block. That is, if you choose to build these rooms in the configuration that I have shown them to you. The only real thing that's probably non-negotiable is going to be this ladder right here. You really need to build that at this position. And of course, over here as well, we have our stairwell that we're just about to finish off, that we've been building almost since the beginning of the structure. We have our another access ladder we have over here to get us out to the roof. On the side, let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So we have our diorite arches built into the structure that we've just sort of tacked on to the outside. And you want to be following the same cylinder that we've been building, just with a ring of cobble, and have 2 blocks of diorite, but closer in for that one and for over here as well. So let me just go through here, give you a good view of where these blocks are, so you can place them in your structure. And as a reference point, we're in the middle over here. We've got this other access ladder we have over there. The hallway behind this, as you can see, you're just building that straight up with diorite. Then I think we're going to put some cobble on it and then just put a flat roof over the structure for that, and then that part should be done. Okay, so we're here at the back on the other side of the center line. As you can see, we have this very generous hallway that I put in behind here for you to walk around and have some access while you're building the structure. Let's take a look now at the dome on the inside here. So previously we had just put on rings of calcite, but now we're going to be putting on the ribbing for the dome, the built-in concrete ribbing. Of course, we're doing that. We're outlining it with calcite, but the coffers behind that we're filling in with the copper here. So here's our center line, and I will go and put on. I think I will illustrate this with slabs, and I don't think I'm going to bother counting them out. I think if I put on the slabs here in front of you, because I know the copper can blend in with the granite, perhaps a bit too much. But as we go along here, like so, with the copper, of course I'm placing the half slab directly on top of the block that you should be placing. And it would probably save time if I made a quarter of the dome, but I think I'm going to do the standard half for this that I have been doing with the copper here, even though the dome from this point onwards has a complete four-way symmetry, meaning that once you build a quarter of the dome, the other 3/4 are exactly the same. They are just, of course, mirrored on the center lines. So here's our main center line that comes through our building, right back over there. And of course, we have our other center line now, which will be coming across, directly across this little ladder here with the doorway. And of course, they will meet at a cross in the middle. So 1/4 of the dome here should be the same as this quarter. And then you want to mirror the entire thing on the other side of the building there. So let me go back over this from the top down as a recap. And of course, you can use the previous slice of the dome that you built to guide your construction efforts. All right, so I think we can go ahead and move on to this next phase. So there's a bit more of this Corinthian capital here. A very large Corinthian capital, Corinthian compound. The extra stone bricks, cobblestone walls here make it compound, because we use that for the Ionic order, but over here is supposed to represent the scrolls. But you know, Minecraft, it's the best we can do at this level of resolution anyway, if I can get my words out. So over here are the blocks you want to place for the AGRIPPA right there, all diorite. In the middle here, we're finishing off our pediment again. Now the stone bricks are meeting in the middle. And you want to then have a 3-block stone brick ridge all the way down the roof that meets in your building. Of course, this here is directly on your center line. And of course, the copper roof tiles are going up the same as they always have. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the exterior here with the windows. We have these half slabs here. One on the bottom, 2 on the top, and then 1 on the bottom. We have diorite behind those, by the way, to make a little decorative detail on the top of our window frame. And the rest of this is just straight stone bricks across here. We do have a couple of places where they will jut out, like so behind there. And the same deal with the windows on the side. And let's go through here and take a look at the arches. So you're building stone bricks for your cylinder, but we are getting ready to finish off these arches with just a couple of blocks of diorite here. I think we'll do that on the next phase, it looks like. 2 more blocks here. And with the arches, I had to try these a number of times before I got the number and shape of them right. Because while an arch will look nice on a flat surface, once you start bending it around the corner, you need to use a bit more finesse with how you place your blocks. And here at the back again at our center line. So let's go back and take a look at the rooms here. And all we're really doing in the rooms here is putting on a ledge or a cornice of upside down stone brick stairs in all of these rooms, except for the ladder over there. Like this here for a decoration, and then we're going to be putting on the ceiling features. For this here, you just want to go around all the edges and put on those stairs, except for in the hallway here. I didn't bother to do that in the hallways, because these are just sections we walk directly through, and we're not going to be spending too much time in it, so it didn't seem worthwhile to spend the stairs. But on the inside corridor, you just want to go around and on top of your diorite, if you built the corridor, to add the stone bricks on top of those here. And now let us go back to the dome itself. I think we can make more rapid progress on the dome once we finish off the portico in a couple of phases there. Might speed things up a little. So from our center line, I'm going to go through here and place the half slabs on top of the copper coffers. And I think in contrast with that, with the calcite here, you can easily see where that goes. Just use the previous phases that we did. I think most of these are going to be stacking directly on top of each other, except for places like that where they're slowly curving in. It's not going to get very steep until we get through several more phases and we start approaching the top of our dome. And slabs along here. And of course back here we hit our center line again, which means you mirror everything on the other side of your dome over here. So let's go back over this and take a good look at it. We want to make sure we get this correct. It is the most important part of the Pantheon. The part everyone's going to look at anyway, so you want to make sure you double down and get it as accurate as you can. And as we go, just pause and replicate the blocks that you see. It's a large structure, but it's fairly repetitive, so I don't think you will have too much trouble with it. Over here, you just want to put on a big 5x5 square of diorite right there for that, because we're getting ready to put on a very small entablature on the top of this column. We finished off our Corinthian capital, so we're putting on our entablature there. And I believe this looks like that we finish off these AGRIPPA. There may be a couple of more blocks on this one, I think. Right there for that. And over here in the middle, we're getting ready to build another base for a large sculptural AGRIPPA at the top here. And we're doing this with what, 3x5 diorite, and then behind that we just want to have this little ridge detail of cobblestone stairs like you see done there. And behind that we want to put on some dentils of upside down cobblestone stairs. Just every other block where you can in between here. It was only a 4-block space, so we just had to space them out with an odd dimension there. It's no big deal. Now on the side here, we are finishing off these arches that we've been building with these blocks here. And of course, stone bricks behind that for the outside cylinder of the dome. Of course, if you go to the Pantheon, you can still see these now exposed details. They may have been covered by travertine at some point in the past. But I elected to make them a feature of the building. I thought it'd be a little bit more fun. It also adds some detail. There we go. All right, so let's go now back here. I think I'll just show you this from the top down to start with. So you can see for the ceiling details on these little rooms we've been building. We're just doing coffers out of diorite. One for that room there, and one for this small room over the stairwell. Like you see, so if we go down our ladder, we'll take a look at this from beneath. And I believe we are just capping these off with either stone bricks or cobble. It's probably cobble. On top of these, and then these rooms will be finished. The hallway behind this is already being finished. You just put a sheet of cobblestone on top of all this, and on this other hallway around here as well, the big circular one that wraps through the interior of the building. You can see it outlined here in cobble. So just cap that off with the cobblestone here, and then that will be finished. And the only thing we're still building over here is going to be these little access ladders that are going to go up to the roof segments up there, so you can crawl up there. All right, back here for the dome. So locate our center line and place some slabs. This is definitely one of the larger domes that I have ever made. To this day, the Pantheon is still the largest unreinforced concrete dome that exists in the world. All the other ones are reinforced with steel. They're probably mostly steel and not so much concrete. But of course, the Romans knew what they were doing when they were building things, so it's still standing to this day. All right, there we have that. Let's rake back over this a little bit. Just give a more zoomed out view of the blocks here. And we will continue on to the next phase. So over here, just stack up another 5x5 thing of diorite. And we just have 2 more blocks of diorite here. And this finishes off these acroterion here. They're sort of like almost winged griffins or winged Pegasus figures. That's kind of what I modeled it as. You can see we have the head here, a curly tail, some wings, and some legs down here. They look good from a distance anyway. In the middle here, you just want to put on some upside down cobblestone stairs there, and then another line of these cobblestone stairs like that there, and that will finish off that. For the rest of this, we want to now put on an upside down cobblestone cornice all the way around here. Just once you get to the corner, wrap it around and continue here. And once you hit your cylinder, we're finished building these arches. So you want to wrap this around the cylinder. So you want to extend up your cylinder with cobblestone and then wrap it around with these stairs here. We don't need to do the very complex wrapping that we did where they bend around each other. Just place them on any single block face that you can. We're here at the side now, going around to the other side. And you will notice that at some point here in the middle, they will change their direction that they're facing. Up to this point, they're all facing in that direction, but then they start facing out in this other direction here. And that's how I tend to do things. And of course, we're here at the back at our center line. All right, so let's take one last look at these little rooms here. If I can get down the ladder. There we go. So, as I thought, we just capped the entire thing off with cobblestone, all of these little rooms here, if you chose to build them. And the only thing we're extending up are these little side ladders, the one in the middle, the one on the side here, the one on the side of the building there, and the one at the back. And I think that we can just now focus on the dome, because we are done building, except for the acroterion there at the front. We are now done with the portico. We are done building all these little rooms here. So I think for the next couple of phases, we will focus on the dome. So let's locate our center line. And slowly place some half slabs here directly over the copper blocks that you should be placing. As we go, of course, the copper is subtly bending in to form the dome. And the calcite ribbing here is giving it some shape. And we're here at the back here at our center line. So let's slowly go and take a look at this from a distance to double check our work. There we go. And with that done, we can move on to the next phase. So here for the column, upside down stone brick stairs, all around the 5x5 thing down right there. We finished that there, so we just need to take a look at this here. Just a simple nine blocks of die right there. For that, back here, of course, we are putting on a more simplified entablature now for the uppermost sections, and we're doing this with just a band of die right here. We want to wrap that around the front, wrap it around the sides, and then wrap it around the entire cylinder. Wherever you placed a cobblestone stair, you want to come along and place a block of diorite directly on top of that. All right, back to the dome again. Make some more progress on this. Let's locate our center line and place the slabs here. Of course, the slab texture should help you more easily count out things. I want to make it very apparent where you should be placing the copper. Other than that, I don't really have too much to say. That can only be so entertaining during a block placing phase. But I assume that's okay because you're here for just the raw information. How to make the building. So there we are with the slabs. Take a panning look at it from a distance. All right, and we will move on to the next phase. So over here on top of this column, 5x5 diorite. Here for this criterion, you want to make this pattern here with the diorite. Behind this, we want to put on a band of upside down stone brick stairs directly on top of all that diorite you just went along and placed on the last phase. Go along and place now upside down stone brick stairs. In other words, where you place these cobble stairs, now come and place stone brick stairs on top of those all the way around the exterior cylinder of the building. And we will place some more slabs in here for another phase for our dome. Locate our center line. And so this is going to be an easy phase, actually. This is one of these mini rings that's going to be in the dome. There are 5 levels of coffers. And they are divided out by these rings at various phases. So we have now finished, as you can see, the first layer of coffers. So if we go down here, we can see that. The whole dome has now been roughly divided into an even series of squares with copper in those. So I will go through here from the center line and edge out this with the slab so you can have an exact placement for the calcite. Of course, the calcite at this phase is just going to be a big ring through the dome. Like so. Here we will take a zoomed out look at this on our way out. You just want to go ahead and count all these to the other side of the center line, which is of course right here. So let's zoom out and take a more top-down view of this here. And of course, remember, 1/4 of the dome is the same as the other quarter. So all your numbers should come out to be the same on this quarter as they did on that one. All right, let's go on to the next phase. A 5x5 diorite on top of that again. Over here, I will place some slabs to outline this here. I don't really know what it is. I know it's an acriterion. I don't really know what kind. I just straight copied it from my Parthenon, though, and stuck it on the Pantheon. Over here, we now want to have some more dentils, so to speak, of stone brick slabs and cobblestone stairs. Well, technically, this is the cornice more than a dentil phase. But you just want to do every other block here, starting in the middle with your stairs here at our center line. And then every other block directly on top of where you placed the stone brick stairs, just go and place this here. We'll take a look at what's behind it in a moment. Let's take a look at what's in front first. And good news for the cylinder, just place straight cobblestone on top of all these stairs all the way around the cylinder of the building. Now behind this we have this flat roof, which we want to have with full blocks and slabs and half slabs of copper, like you see done here according to this pattern there. I'll just show you this from the top down. I think with the since it's every other block, it should be quite easy to see the dimensions of that. And of course, a section here in the middle. And of course, where we have our cobble here is where we're going to have, remember we have our large equestrian statue here, and we have 4 lions on either side. So we're now building the bases for those statues. And on the inside here, we have, let's locate our center line. We will now place some more slabs, just like we did in the last phase. We're placing another ring of calcite on our dome, but you will notice, of course, it overhangs our dome by just a little bit. And I think right here should be our center line again. So let's take a more zoomed out view of that and take a look at it from the top down. I think in the next phase we will be back to placing copper in the dome again. So let's go on to that right now. So here you want to place 5x5 diorite again, and then place some cobblestone half slabs, 12 of those, and that pattern there. Over here in the middle, I think in just a couple of phases we'll be finishing this thing. Place your diorite like that. And back here, you want to place a couple of slabs here for these little detail ridges on the flat roof section. And in the middle, here where our center line is, we want to just place straight stone bricks there for that, like you see done here. And of course, along the cylinder on the outside, place now a band of stone bricks. But behind that, you see we have a lot of copper. And that's because we're making, now also with the dome, we are making the roofing for the dome. Remember the roofing that Emperor Constans just had to have. Stripped it all off, sent it back to Byzantium. Who knows what happened to it there, but we want to build this out of nice materials. So we are going to put that back on. I think for several decades it was just, there was only concrete the bare concrete on the roof of the Pantheon, but one of the popes put a lid on top of it. They couldn't afford to put bronze back on it, so they put lead on it. And that's been replaced a couple of times over the centuries. Unlike Urban the 7th or the 8th, whichever one of those, most of the popes have maintained and spent a lot of money on the Pantheon. So we still have it today. So I'm going to show you this here from the top down, like so. I think the contrast with the copper and the granite is great enough here for you to be able to see that. I'll take a zoomed out view of this in a moment. I just want to give a good detail shot of it as we go. And then we'll start on the dome. I think on the next phase, I'll go ahead and I'll trace out the exterior portion of that as well. Like so. All right, so let's take a more zoomed out view so you can see it from a distance. Of course, this copper section, if you remember from the tour, you can walk on that. Up there at the top. And let's locate our center line here and place some more slabs. I know some of these sections may look like they're wrong, which since we only have 4 blocks here and we have 6 blocks there, but it's because of the way the dome curves in here and flattens out on the side back here. Our center line, by the way, for that. Optically, it will look right when you're looking at it from down below on the ground. But you know, Minecraft, we have to make some compromises here and there. We have to push a block either this way or that way. Especially with a dome as large and detailed as this one. It was quite a challenge to do. And I think that is all there is for that phase. So let's go on to another one. So over here for this thing, you just want to put on another one of these, like you did down here for this. Just build another one right there, and in the middle here, let's just a couple of more blocks for that right there, and then let's take a look back here. So we're finishing off these bases now. You can see we have some of this glowstone I had you collect. It's for hidden lighting for the statues up here. If you're doing this in survival, you may want to have much more lighting than what I've specified. But this is just some accent lighting, so to speak. But if you don't want to have that, just fill that in with red nether brick, as you see there, and then the deep slate tiles behind that. And you can see on the edges here, we're just using stone brick stairs. Right there for those, and for this one on the side here. And of course, all these little platforms for the lions, they're the same size. On the side here, you then want to stack up another ring of stone bricks. This may be the last one, for this one. And you just want to do that as a cylinder, but we want to leave all of the copper that we placed back here exposed. And we can now put these little trap doors on top of these stairs here. Double stairs. Ladders that we made, the access ladders to get up to your roof. And all of those should now be finished except for this one here in the middle, which, as you remember, comes up behind the equestrian statue and lets you climb all the way up to your oculus. For this, I need to go along and count these out. So let's count out our center line we have right here. So where I'm placing these is where you want to place your stone bricks. Let's do this, I think, from the exterior. Be more constructive. You can use this on as a check on how you placed the copper walkway below to make sure you got all those numbers correct. But I want to trace this out because it's very important that we get the count for this this phase correct. I know some of the numbers, they may not make sense, but it's because I added some ribbing to the exterior of the dome to make it look a bit more interesting. As I usually do to my domes. So that's why they jut out in a couple of places like this. But just trust me, it will look good once we build it. And of course, back here at our center line at the back, we have our last little trapdoor back there as well. All right, so let's look at our center line here again. Place more slabs here over the copper. For the dome, again, building a bit more of this. I will do as much of this dome today as I can. I'm not sure how long it's been going on for right now. Let me check. Okay, we're about 37, 38 minutes. And so we have quite a lot more that we can do. I can keep going for at least another 20. And of course, back here at the back at our center line. So let's zoom out and take a look at all this from a distance. And let's actually drop down and take a look at it from below. So we can see our dome is slowly closing in over the space here. Our Pantheon is really coming together now. So let's go on to the next phase. And we can begin saving some time in this tutorial. Because after you build this little cobblestone perch right here, this little 3x3 cobble thing, I will now refer you to go watch the Roman eagle tutorial video, because that is what you want to start building on top of this right here. And I use this eagle quite a bit, so it's just copied and pasted from that. So to save some time in this video, so we can make more progress, I will now refer you to go watch that video to go ahead and finish off those whenever you so please to do so. And a couple of blocks of dye right there for that thing. And to continue to save some time as well, like I just said, the equestrian statue here, this also has its own dedicated tutorial video. The Roman equestrian statue, that's what it's called. So from this point onwards, now that I've shown you where the feet are placed on this, I will give you a glance at this as we go along. But here, you can go ahead and start completing this entire statue if you want to. The same deal is for the lions over here. For this one, you want to go and watch the Royal Lion tutorial video. For that, this is where you want to place the feet. For that one, of course, you want to use the one for the standing lion. There's 3 lions in that video. You want to use the one for the standing lion. That is if you want to replicate my rabbits model. If you want to put something else up here, do feel free to change the sculptural designs. That's completely fine. Back here, we are finished building the outer edge of this cylinder thing here that we've been building for a long time. So behind the inner cylinder for the cobble that I placed back here, uh, you then want to place some for the stone bricks that we placed, you then want to place now a band of cobble. And of course, you just want to place that directly on top of everything we did with the half slabs over there. Just straight directly on top of that there. There we go. That was quite a mouthful. Well, we got it out in the end. Over here, let's locate our center line and place some half slabs. Of course, when I started making tutorial videos, I was very fastidious about editing out all my little missteps and things I would misspeak, and unless it's a very egregious example, I will still edit that out. But if it's just like a couple of words, I've learned to just keep rolling with it. I'm sure that you understand, because for the tutorials I do end up talking for quite a while, so there's naturally going to be some mistakes, and you're mostly here for the building anyway, I assume. And I believe we're now back here at our center line. So let's zoom out and take a look at this again. I think based on how far we've gotten in the remaining time, we should get at least to the third layer of the dome. We'll have to see. Now that we're going to be saving time on the statues and everything, we can do so. So there's a bit more of that eagle there. And I think that that actually finishes this thing off here. Just 2 more blocks of diorite, like there for this thing here at the front. And I'll give you a passing glance here at the equestrian statue. It collides with the building back here at the back just a little bit. So you just want to squish the statue into the building. And of course here for the lion as well, I'll give you one last view at that. And from this point onwards, I will refer you to the tutorial videos for those individual statues that I mentioned. So here we now have some upside down stairs. But behind this, you want to extend up on top of your cobble. Just go and place stone bricks on top of those in a big cylinder. But to differentiate that from the ribbing here, we have some stone brick stairs at just a couple of places. I know it looks like that they may be incomplete, but trust me, they're not, because we have the larger ribs over right where the stone brick stairs would be, is what's going on there. So here along the side and along the back again, you just want to make that same pattern. So now the exterior of the dome is perfectly symmetrical in line with the interior, by the way. So if you build a one quadrant on the inside and the outside, it's going to be the same for the other 3 quadrants of the dome. So here, let us place more slabs like this here. Of course, there does seem to be some debate about whether the coffers of the Pantheon were filled with blue, or whether they were filled with bronze or possibly gilded gold. Nobody can really decide on that, as far as I could tell. So for the reference model here, I chose to use copper. I thought it was a good compromise. But if you like a blue dome better, you can replace all of this copper on the inside of the dome with more lapis. If you somehow have a complete mountain of lapis sitting in your chest, not doing anything. But we already used quite a lot of lapis on the lower parts of the building. And I don't really know how hard lapis is to come by in survival. I think it's on a villager trader, but I may be mistaken about that. the eagle there. We finished the thing at the front. And here again for the equestrian statue. As you can see, one of the hooves is raised and it's overhanging the platform out there for that. So here we now are putting on the copper for the roof for our Pantheon. And you want to be doing it according to this pattern here. So I'm just going to go through here and show you. They are being broken up every so often with ribbing on the outside. I did that deliberately to mirror the ribbing that we have on the inside. It's not the same pattern, but it is ribbing nonetheless, to make our dome look a bit more interesting. There we go, from the sides. All we're doing at this phase is putting on just cobble for the ribbing and copper for the roof. And hopefully the copper will stay on your roof unless you too have Emperor Constance on your server, in which case he will turn up and demand that you strip the copper off of your roof for his uses. So here we are now putting on another one of these little annular rings. So remember how we did these earlier? We're going to be doing that again right here at this level. So I'm going to go through here and trace out calcite with the blocks, and then we will take a look at it from a distance. And right here is our center line at the back. All right, let's go on to the next phase. So as I've said, I've referred you to all those statues, so we are going to ignore that. And from this point onwards, for our tutorial, we will be focusing only on the dome. So here's our little ladder that we've been building, right there for access. And, shouldn't be there. Looks like I missed a spot here with my brush. This should be copper and not deep slate tiles. I think that's the second portion of the roof I messed up like that. You can also tell we're using full blocks and half slabs here at this phase. Most of this should be right on top of the copper you previously placed. We're also extending the ridges back with the cobble, like you see there, with just the full blocks of cobble. We're here at the side, swinging around to the second quarter. Like you see done here. All right. And here in the middle, locate our center line. And we will begin marking this ring out with slabs again, just like we did for the last phase. I think we hit our center line right there. And there we are. All right, next phase, let's fly directly over to the dome again. And take a look here from the center. So, I'm not really sure why that is there. That can probably just be cobble. But we're now putting the trapdoor on top of our ladder, our access ladder, which we made. And here, in the middle, we're going to be putting cobblestone stairs for the ridge. So that's going to let you climb directly up to the oculus from this point here. And I will just go through here and give you good tight end views of how the copper and the cobble ribbing for the exterior of the dome looks. I think for the most part you're placing full cobble blocks directly on top of the previous ones, except you want to extend them back just a little bit on the sides there. And here we are at the back. All right, our center line here. And we're back to placing now the third ring of coffers with the copper. And our center line here at the back. All right, let's go on to the next phase and build a bit more of the dome. I want to at least get to the third register of coffers, maybe to the next ring above that. I think that might be all the time that we'll have for today. We'll have to see. So over here, I'm not really sure why that's still there. That can probably be cobble. So you want to build your stairs, remember, like I said here, just these cobblestone stairs. Wherever you would be placing a full block of cobble, just place a stair in the middle, right there, just directly on your center line. And I will give you close-in views here of the pattern. For the exterior, we're now using half slabs again of copper and full blocks, as we do, because the dome of the Pantheon is thicker at the base, but it thins out as we get near the top. So you will notice as we go, all this granite back here, that's gradually going to shrink down to nothing when we get all the way up to the oculus to make things as thin as possible. Indeed, the Romans, when they were doing this, they would use various mixtures of concrete with ever more lighter and more airy materials as they got near the top of the dome to further decrease the weight of the structure. I think at the very end, they were actually using volcanic pumice for the aggregate. I think in the middle, they would use crushed tiles. And there we are at the back. And of course, let's locate our center line again and place more slabs. And here and there, you'll notice I have a number of torches to light things up, but I assume if you're doing this in survival, I mean, the dome really looks best when viewed with a night vision potion. But you may want to place many more torches up here to light up your dome than what I have suggested, in order to more evenly light the thing up. Because the Minecraft lighting engine is not the best. At least mine isn't. That's why I always use the shaders. But I think it may look better if you have an RTX card, though, I assume. I don't have one of those, so I really can't say. There we go. And over here, next phase for the dome. So in the middle here with the stairs and everything. And I will give you views of this. We're now using both slabs and full blocks of copper for this stage here. Of course, as you can see now, they are being broken up with the ribs for the dome. There are large ribs, and then there are some small ones, and then there are some larger ones again as we go, by the way. Let's go back here at the middle and take a good slow view at this all the way around. Now for the second quarter. And here at the back. Alright, so let's locate our center line again and place slabs over the copper. And a top-down view here. And we will go on to another phase. So I think for this one, it's going to be easy on the exterior. You're mostly stacking up the copper here. That can be cobble. As you see done here. To the second quarter now. And here at the back. Alright. Center line. Now for this, because our dome is now, if we go land a little bit, we can see that it is slowly curving inwards, which means more of our blocks will be overhanging than previously. Like as you can see here, we now have these 2 blocks here are going to be overhanging from the bottom. So I'm going to place slabs on all of those as we go along. And here for our center line at the back. All right, let's go on to another phase. I think that we're getting about to an hour, so I think that we can maybe do 2 more phases, and then we're going to have the last little bit in a next video, because I think I'm going to need an additional half hour or so to describe all of that. So here at the front, again, that mistake there, that can be cobble. Maybe just a little bit of copper. So we'll take a look at this here. Now for the second quarter, we're of course using full blocks and half slabs of cut copper. And here at the back. So last 2 phases is going to be fairly easy. We are just placing out our rings of calcite again, like so. 1 ring here and then 1 more for today. I kind of suspected that this building was going to end up being a 5-part extravaganza. But hopefully you are finding everything useful and are enjoying building your Pantheon. And the center line at the back. All right, last phase for today. A bit more of the roof here. Make that cobble. And it's also here, you can see we are placing now some cobble here, and this is because we are at a layer that's going to be a division. So all the ribbing that we have down here on these lower sections, that's going to be complete. And from this section, we're going to have half as many ribs for the topmost part of the dome. But we have a little ring on the outside, like we do on the inside there with the calcite. We have that with cobble here to serve to break up that and be a transition layer. Like you see, should be fairly difficult. I mean, fairly difficult. It should be fairly easy. I said the exact opposite of what I wanted to say there. I know the entire build is fairly difficult. I was meant to say that the cobblestone placing here should be fairly easy. All right. And the last little ring that we can do today here for the calcite. I think today with the dome, we've gotten about 3/5 of it constructed. So a good amount of progress. But I think we will be needing another half hour for the rest of the structure, probably. Maybe a bit more. There we go. Let's take a look at that from the top down. And let's drop down here and take a look at everything from below. Really coming together now, I think. But that's going to be all the time we have for today. Next time, we will definitely be finishing the Pantheon in part 5. So I hope you are enjoying the build and everything, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.